All right, so let's get this started. So, welcome to the 2020 Dynasty Divisional Draft. We are here with last year's winner, Andrew Castor. Say hello, Andrew.
I think we should give him a round of applause. Round of applause.
Round of applause.
Thank you. From one of us.
Thank you. Thank you. I sold my soul to the devil. Can't argue with me.
We are also here with 2020 runner-up, Lucas Freiberg. Lucas, say hello.
Hello. Short and sweet.
A few words. And then third place, the surprise of 2019 season, is Winemiller and Ball. How you guys doing?
And just to be clear, I think the surprise is we didn't come in 1 or 2. So I will give you that.
I'm with you.
All right, well, here's the deal. We are now going to go in order. Castor, being the winner of 2019, gets the first pick of picks to choose who's in his division. So without further ado, Castor, fire away.
So with the first pick of the 2020 Dynasty Divisional Draft, this may seem a little bit sadistic, and my team literally might just be pooped out at the end of the season because of this. But due to a rather shallow bench and what I have as the 10th ranked team based on picks going into next year, I'm going to draft Team Alf, Keith, number 1. I will be shit out in a ball of hot flames in hell.
Wow. That is a little bit of a shock.
That ramped up at the end.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Keith is off the board. I do not think he was expecting this. I gave him a little bit of razzing earlier today that he might be an early pick. But pick 101. Man, that is big. Lucas, thoughts on fellow Wisconsinite going first?
He was not in my top 3, so I guess I'm happy about that. I get my pick for number 1. But yeah, I can see that. I mean, he is sort of hamstrung. I mean, 2 of my top 3 have worse picks than him, I feel. So we'll see. I think if there's anyone who's not going to hold a grudge against you, it's Keith Kilp. So I think that's a fair pick.
Ball, Winemiller, any thoughts regarding Keith?
Well, I would just throw in that there was no way that he was making it out of the first round. I think Andy had a very, very good pick there. I'm probably going to eat those words from this half. Pat, any thoughts?
I agree. We had him probably going pretty quickly at the turn.
All right, Andy. Well, it wasn't that big of a reach. Sounds like he would have been top 3 pick, at least. So, all right, without further ado, Lucas, you're on the clock.
Well, I have a nemesis in the league, and he's going to go to me immediately. So that's James Gandenberger will be my number 1 pick. Well, he has by far the most amount of cap space. He has, I don't know if I should just start fires or not, but hell, let's start fires. Probably the worst track record for spending money in the auction. He has good picks. I think he can improve himself there, although even the running backs at number 1, I don't know that they're going to pay out immediately in year 1, so I might be able to avoid most of the pain that those people cause long term. Also, he's got the least amount of talent on his team by far of any active rosters right now.
So, Castor, was there any debate about taking Gandy, pick 101?
Gandy actually was my initial thought for 101. But then I thought about it and I was like, you can't, and the reason why is because of that, and you can't discount the Gandy apathy factor if he starts to be a losing team beginning of the season. But he does have those top picks. Yeah, it's just like I could see him moving if he really wanted to. And if you talk law of averages, he's had a bottom team for a couple of years. So I would expect him to bounce back. And that I feel like if I picked him, that whole Zeke trade would flip on me and I would be in the shitter. So.
Bob Winemiller, are you disappointed that Gandy didn't fall to you at 3?
I can say, I'll just kick this off, and then Pat, if you have anything, he would have gotten past us on the turn. If he wasn't picked, Lucas could have got him at number 5.
The true Pat?
I will concur with Mr. Ball.
Wow. Oh, Lucas, man. Whew. Well, let's now talk about picks 3 and 4. Let's see who you guys want.
So very, very difficult choices here. And Pat and I have had many strategy sessions, many lunches thinking about this. I think, what we're looking for, first and foremost, I think is a good division. Just a division of good people, good dudes, people we like hanging out with and talking to. So I think that was our number 1 criteria by far. I will say this might be a little bit of a surprise to some folks, but we're going with Jay Crow for a couple reasons. Number 1, again, they passed the good dude criteria in spades. Clearly, they don't have much of a draft strategy this year. They got 1 third rounder. I don't see them. I think it's going to be difficult for them to pick up more draft picks. They don't have a ton of cap space. Clearly they have, probably 2.5 times what we have, but it's still not a lot, which just tells you more about us. But I think the most important thing we looked at was, and coming from a New York Giants fan, somebody who's a converted, absolutely love the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, not sold on. OBJ, just his connections and his $50 million contract. So Lucas, going back to your point, the skill in the free agency market. I think that's probably just one example of, I think he might be able to give Gannenberger a run. So I think for a few reasons we went with Jay Crow. Pat, anything to add?
No, sorry, I just popped off the app. Nothing to add, Bob. You listed all the reasons we kind of talked through earlier today.
So, guys, why don't you do your 4th pick, and then we'll go around for some feedback from the other guys.
Yes, I'll just take this one as well. The 4th pick would be, and again, same criteria. We're looking for really, good people. I'll have to say, and I don't know if I lead with this one or don't, right? And I'll just leave with it. We're going with Proven as pick number 4. Again, I think very, very kind of similar thought process. Don't really have a ton of space in the auction. Don't really have any draft picks. They got 1 second rounder. I think their roster is constructed. I think it would be a good fit for our division. And again, we're talking about good people, so people we're going to enjoy the banter with a little bit, and I think will be a great part of our division. Pat. Oh, hey, sorry. One thing I'll say before we do the roundtable, because I do want to get this in. I would ask, and I don't know if this is collusion. I don't know if this is allowed. I don't know if this gets us penalized for future draft picks. The other person in heavy contention here was obviously our commissioner. I will say for our commissioner, you take a team that was in the championship game 2 years ago and didn't even make the playoffs last year. Who has, I think, a proven history of only scoring points in games that don't matter. I think when you look at their cap situation, I think when you look at how their roster is constructed, I would hope that the other owners give some kind of thought to letting the commissioner kind of last to that very last pick. Because I think, and again, great person, I think he would fit in our division. So we're really pulling for Mr. Ross to make it to pick number 9. Pat?
Agreed. Let's put Ross into our division.
I think the only fair thing would be to get the other co-owner in your division to get a division of only co-owners.
We'd rather have you.
That's
I'll start
pretty
with
funny.
I'll start with Lucas. Lucas, what do you think?
So that's my top four, just in slightly different order. So I don't think I have really any qualms about this. I will say that Castor and Pat talk a pretty big game about drafting a certain commissioner in the first round to create drama, but didn't see that actually transpire here. I mean, there's a little bit of squawk in the last couple months about who's gonna be picked in this first round, and I don't see a Ross up there anywhere. So I think they should put their money where their mouth is.
Lucas, I just wanted to hear your thoughts and see if you give any details up.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is something to be said about the fact that we are horrible at this as a league. We tend to select the wrong teams constantly, so maybe going just based on who's a fun person to be with or just adding drama to it is maybe a better way to pick. But I just think it's interesting that when the chips were on the table, nobody really stepped up there. 2 picks too, Pat. You could have taken Christian and Conrad at number 3 and then thrown the Ross curveball at 4.
To be fair, I did have to talk my co-owner into taking Ross off of our first pick.
In fairness, that was at least an hour worth of conversation today. That was a major ball sack strategy meeting today.
So, Castor, any thoughts here?
First, they're just going for the top. They're like the 2 E6s in the league. They're like, we got them.
Yep.
They're trying to play with the big boys.
Yeah, they're mostly networking with the strategy. I agree.
Yeah, we'll call it the networking league. But I had them at 4 and 5, largely the same reasons. Both of those teams have no picks this year. Like, we're talking 2-12 and 3-01. So yeah, both of the teams they've got good starting players, but like most teams in the league, they got to fill out the bench, and without draft picks, it'll be a little bit tougher.
Okay, well, Lucas just went on mute when he's back on the clock. This is a classic Lucas maneuver. Oh.
I thought he was going to, vamp a little bit more there, but apparently not. Okay.
Yeah, you're on the clock, Lucas.
So I've got 5 and 6 even here. I've got a real conundrum because I have these 2 teams ranked almost identically. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Canfield here. I don't think my other pick is going to make it around, so I might as well. I think Canfield's pick is a little bit worse than the other team I was looking at in the first round, and a lot worse. And I think there's a severe teardrop at 7 to 8. So his pick at 8, if he stays there, I don't know that he's going to get somebody who really contributes in year 1. And I like his team a little bit less than the other team I'm looking at. So I'm sticking with Sean.
Any surprises here, Canfield? Does he look like he's too early or too late in your guys' list? Castor?
Too early for me. I mean, slightly. I had him at 6. So, I mean, the one thing with Canfield is, after the auction, that's going to be his team. That's not going to change. I had him really in the same group as Proven and the J Crew. Carson could be, if he bounces back, Montgomery's got promise. Allen puts up points. Evans and Hill and Moore. He's got good depth at receiver. I would have thought he would have gone maybe next round.
Okay. All right, let's get right back to you, Castor. Actually, let's 6 and 7.
So this person that I'm picking at the end of the second round was actually who I had 3rd on my board of teams to pick. So this is a steal in my opinion. So with the last pick in the second round, I'm going with no other than I'm selling my soul to the devil, Mr. Truman. Deshaun Watson's obviously a real strong play at quarterback. He's had some higher picks and has got carry on and Penny in his backfield, but both those dudes are real banged up. So I'm looking at it being like not a strong backfield. Samuel and Johnson are both good starting young receivers, but still young and not proven to be like stud guys yet. Shark had an amazing year last year. But let's see if that can happen again if lightning strikes twice. But he does have strong picks, and we know Truman's not afraid to make a deal. And like I said, gamble on himself. He's betting on himself. So I had him a little bit higher, but I'm happy with this.
All right. Well, round out your division right here, and then we'll do a quick round table.
Okay. Oof. I might surprise myself here, but I'm not going to. And I am going to go with no other than Smythe. Obviously, I think the last two picks everyone kind of had penciled in already. I don't know in what order. So this is kind of a no-brainer. Although I was tempted just to pick the commish, just as a friendly rivalry, so to speak. So.
All right, let's hear it. Paul, do you like that Caster's division?
I think as usual, nothing surprises me about Castor. Very smart, does his homework. There's absolutely, when he it's not like Lucas who's taking shots at his ownership, divisional owners. Andy's just classy about it, just well informed, no surprises at all. Right in line with where we had him.
Lucas, any feedback on?
I'm sorry. Paul. And we're extremely happy, Lucas, aside from that small shot I just took at Joe, extremely happy he let Brian go by. So if there's any possible way.
Well, spoiler alert, you're going to be really happy in about 10 seconds. So, but yeah, that's my top 8, the top 7 easily. I don't think those were surprising in any way, shape, or form, Andy.
Pat, do you have anything you want to add?
I was a little surprised that Smythe dropped that far. Just looking at his team, maybe I'm kind of biased by his kind of lack of production last year. Consistently, he's been a good owner, though, so maybe it makes sense that he dropped to the 3rd round. But I think that's a good-looking division for Castor. He'll consistently win by a couple points and somehow make it to the playoffs like he normally does.
Come through the cat door, that type of thing. Yeah, Smythe also has a lot of picks, and I know he's looking to make moves, and nothing would irritate Smythe more than having to have the plate on his car for another year. I'm pretty sure he would do anything not to be in last place or not make the playoffs again. It might eat him alive more than anyone else in this league.
I think the penalty for back-to-back last place finishes is the cell phone cover.
That's right.
Oof, that is a scarlet letter. That's in your hand all day.
Cell phone cover should be the face of the winner the year that you get it.
I think we can negotiate what it can be. But yeah, sure. So Lucas, you ready to round out this division?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I had 8 and 9 very close. Probably post-draft, though post-draft was a month and a half ago, so maybe not that long ago. I think things changed a little bit to make Sam's team a little bit worse with Mac getting Taylor in there, and now with Cook threatening to hold out. That probably won't last the whole season, but it might ding him for a couple weeks. I think it could hinder his team. I see Ross's and Sam's team very similarly. It's a coin flip to me. So I went with Sam and Justin. You're welcome, Bob. I saw the celebration. I want to hit Bob up for a comment. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lucas, why take someone in the first round when you can wait till the third?
That's game
Yeah.
theory right there.
So I can say my thoughts are I'm actually disappointed in this pick, and I was hoping that Lucas would have picked the commish for multiple reasons. One, so we could have a run back of last year of Lucas versus Brian. And two, I really wanted to see a division of Sam and Bob so they can duke it out on email again.
I second all those thoughts. In addition to having all co-owners in one division would have been
That was
amazing.
the only reason I was going to say that Sam in our division would have been great because of all co-owners.
I mean, in fairness, we couldn't have lost that one. There was no way we lose.
All right, so who has the best division based on their picks right now? Any surprises here? Everyone happy with their division, or do they think somebody else actually lucked out with a better mix? Lucas, I'll let you go.
I mean, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to choose between Ross and Sam at the end there, but I'm not upset with this. I mean, I got my 2, 5, and 8 pick at 2, 6, and 8, so not terribly. Or my 1, 6, and 8. I don't know. There's numbers involved, but I got the people I wanted. I'm happy with it.
Maybe I'll just add that I wanted to be in Castor's division. When I saw Kilps and Truman and Castor, I felt that is a division that I can literally just walk through.
Yeah, Smythe is going to run with that.
Smythe is very happy with that division, I can assure you. The Winemiller, I was kind of indifferent if I would fall to Lucas or Winemiller. I would have preferred to be in Lucas's division. Someone has already mentioned this. I think I need a little bit of vengeance to last year. But it's okay. I'm happy with my division as well. Bunch of co-owners. I'll have them fight amongst themselves while I walk my solo ass to the playoffs.
I thought we didn't pass that rule where top scorers just made. I thought you had to win games.
Yeah. Do I need to pull back my whole proof about how my team was amazingly better than your guys?
I don't know. I hated Matt Bruce.
So in fairness, I do think that's a little fake news, right? I think the proof is on our side, but we'll let that one go, Brian.
This concludes the 2020 Dynasty Divisional Draft.
Hey, hold on 1 second. I want to ask Bob and Pat a question real quick. Where would Andy be on your list if he was in the group to pick from?
Oh, we want Andy in our division.
That's what I thought. We're friends.
I don't know where he would fall, but we like playing with Castor.
It goes back to our first role, and this is why, again, we're happy that Brian's in our. We want good people, just like good, solid people, and that's Andy. I think he would have been, hopefully, though, Brian Ross, like our last pick, but hopefully would have had Andy.
Good question there, Lucas. Lucas, where was he on your board? Because I know you're dying to say.
He would have been 4-ish probably. Yeah. He sold his, speaking of selling your soul, Andy, you sold your soul last year. I mean, it paid off, but you don't have a lot of returning capital here.
I don't.
Lucas, where'd we fall on the Lucas board?
I would have put you probably about 7 behind the 5, 6 of Truman and Canfield. You guys find a way every year. I don't know why. Your team is always better than it looks on paper. You're the inverse of my team.
For whatever it's worth.
Great sales, Lucas.
For whatever it's worth, I feel like I have to point this out. For me personally, this was a highly entertaining 30 minutes. By far, the best part of it was when Lucas just ranked Andy as 4th, seeing Andy's face. That facial expression was by far the best part of this.
I was looking away. I'm gonna have to watch the video. Was it good?
I didn't see it because I don't even have my face on here. I just have you guys.
Yes, it was good. Lucas, it was good.
my team is shallow. That's definitely for sure. But the talent I have is good, and I got good picks, and you can't discount me making deals. But nuking my team has also not been a thought as well. So.
Hey, and there's rumors too that you're getting fantastic trade offers. So
The best I've ever seen. I can't believe I haven't hit accept yet.
All right, guys, we'll wrap this up. This has been the 2020 Dynasty Divisional Draft. Thank you all. Let me stop.
Is it
this
weird
recording.
not being able to join? How do you feel about it, Ross? Do you like these? Do these make sense to you?
These picks? Yeah, I thought Kilps seems early, but I didn't do any of the research because, again, I'm not drafting. But
Wait, what was that? I couldn't hear that. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah.
I think
Again, God,
the computer glitched out.
if I did draft Kilps, that would only reinforce that God does hate me. So I don't want to bring that extra karma into 2020 with me. We're going to leave it in 2019. Because the magic bullet of how I didn't make the playoffs survives to this day.
Russell Gage.
Russell Gage and Kenyon Drake, even in my shadow playoffs, the Kenyon Drake 4-touchdown performance barely knocked me out of it. So here we are. But yeah, let me stop this thing. Good job, guys. Let's see.